Amazing Yamaguchi Legends or more. Get all your Marvel figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description down below. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It is Steven here, and I am back with another Marvel review for you. And today we are going to be taking a look at what is most commonly known as the Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Carnage. That's right, this is going to be yet another Spider-Man release in one of the very popular Amazing Yamaguchi figure series releases, and we are going to be taking a look at the red symbiote here with Carnage, very similar to Venom, released quite a while back, but this review is going to be a deluxe review, where in this one, not only are we going to be taking a closer look at the figure than usual, we're going to be taking a look at the box and a deluxe photo gallery at the end of this review. So sit tight, because you're going to have all of your questions answered and more. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look to see whether or not this bad boy is worth adding into your collection. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the box. Admittedly, it is empty, but that's okay, because once you open it up and you take everything out, it doesn't matter how it is all packaged up. So on the box, we do have a nice window display on the front with a shot of the prototype to the left. And all over the box, we have some promotional shots of the figure with some of the accessories that it comes with, alongside some nice covers from the comics that Carnage has appeared in. Up on the top of the box, we have Carnage and Venom versus the Amazing Spider-Man. And then we do have on the back of the box, we have the promotional pictures kind of photoshopped into some comic pages, it looks like. And on the side of the box, kind of the same thing going on, covers of the Amazing Spider-Man. So this is really cool. It's nice to see that we have a comic style box here to fit the character. And for those of you who collect the Dragon Ball figure arts, it is very similar to sort of the manga style guide that they have for those releases. So it's kind of like an East versus West thing, but this was made in the West. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. Carnage is a stupidly simple design that, believe it or not, is very difficult to get wrong. You see, if you're just going to go ahead and take a look at Carnage, you're going to be seeing, okay, so there is red with a whole bunch of chaotic black lines and white eyes. Not that hard to screw up, right? Well, you'd be wrong, because it's not exactly just chaos, it's planned chaos. Everything does actually have order to it, and everything was executed wonderfully here by Mr. Yamaguchi, because guess what? The figure does look very, very clean for such a chaotic design. Yes, Carnage does look great, and the style does match up perfectly to the previously released Venom and Spider-Man and even Deadpool. We're going to go ahead and lump those three with Carnage here. So yes, overall, in terms of the sculpt, if you look up close to Carnage, you're going to be able to see quite clearly defined muscles and pecs and grooves and whatnot on Carnage, which look great. And of course, you're going to have the black paint application, which honestly does not look bad at all. There's really only one small issue, and that's going to come across when you take a look at the eyes, because they use a pearlescent paint that is used to cover up the sculpt markings for the eyes. And even though on the default ones they don't look bad at all, on one of the alternate eyes, they don't look perfect. Also, mine has a random white splotch on the left sort of splayed hand, but other than that, Carnage looks fantastic with all of the ripped muscle that it has, or whatever it might be, because there's going to be some kind of fanboy that's going to go, Steven, it's the symbiote, it's not muscle. But then the majority of you are going to say, yes, Steven, I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, get to the point here. Carnage looks fantastic with very minimal quality control issues and some fantastic sculpting and paint application that really, really help out with the rather high price tag. Good job there. For articulation, Carnage rocks the house, but unfortunately there are some folks who don't like some of the rather unique takes on joints that Carnage has here, and they don't quite like it. I totally understand why. Mine actually has a really tight joint in this area that I had to fix up, but enough talk. Let's get to taking a look at what he's got here. So you're going to see this in the accessory section coming up, but the head, the neck, yeah. So they're all on Revoltech joints basically throughout the body here, and the neck joint is essentially going to be a double Revoltech joint where we're going to have a peg that plugs plugs into the neck here. We're going to have one ratchet joint here, one ratchet joint here, and then a peg here where the top of the head plugs in. So those ratchet joints are going to be hinges. So the way that it's going to work is you're going to get 2 points of swivel and 2 points of hinged movement, if I can get the head back on here. So we can definitely get Carnage to look left and right just at this point alone, and we can get him to look up and down, and that also allows him to open and close his mouth. Now, as you saw, this part here is kind of floating. There is a hinge here for this portion of the jaw. You can't get him to close his mouth entirely. That's about as best as you can. But what's also interesting is there's a split here that is also on a hinge. So we can get him to further open his mouth if for some reason you feel you would need to. The whole neck plugs into the body on a ball joint, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a Revoltech joint, so that's pretty cool. So we get a nice range of movement there. So that way if you want Carnage to just like zoom, you can definitely do that. Now, what's interesting here is for the shoulders, they do kind of follow your typical humanoid style action figure, but they have an interesting twist to them. Much like Venom, they do have a swivel, so this way you can drop them down very low, or you can spin them back. Cool. So the way that Carnage's shoulders work is that they're going to also have that double Revoltech joint, which unfortunately is easy to pop out. But as a compromise there, we do get 2 points of swivel movement, one where the shoulders plug into the body, and then one where the shoulders plug in sort of to the bicep over here. So that's pretty cool. So that's nice. We do also get double use of the ratchet joint, so you can get his arms to do that. Looks kind of awkward, but trust me, you're going to get a ton of neat action poses out of this guy. Alongside the single hinge joint for the elbows, which is also going to lead into 2 pegs into the bicep and the forearm, which is going to account for 2 swivels. So that's cool. A Revoltech joint in the wrist, which is going to provide you that hinge and swivel movement, which is effectively going to give you a ball joint range of movement as well. So that's good. So Carnage's arms, they are perfectly fine. When we move down into the main body of Carnage, we do have an ab crunch, which is on a ball joint, a traditional ball joint, no sort of Revoltech joint trickery here. You're going to get him to bend over that far, bend back about that far, rock from side to side, which is cool. Now, I had to perform some surgery down here and use a little bit of dish soap. I have a video on that, quite a few thousand views, so you want to check that video out, where this joint was absurdly tight. Now, not as much, but it is a ball joint, and that waist joint, whoa, that's pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't get a good shot of it, even with one of my macro lenses, but I can get a good peek in there anyway, at least back here, of what that joint connection looks like. And that is just a flash mark, but on the other side of it, there is a stress mark for how the joint is set up. So yeah, it was super tight out of the box, very, very deadly tight, almost broke, but that has since been fixed. Now the hips and the legs. This is the central part of controversy here for Carnage, where some folks don't like Carnage that much. Why is that? Well, we do have ball jointed hips. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, right? Well, they are intentionally limited because we are going to be able to move his legs in about that far, out about that far, forward, and back about that far. Yeah, what's going on there? Well, they kind of did a pseudo V-cut hip area here, okay? Because at the thighs, we get swivels as well. So you can kick Carnage's leg up at the hip that far, then use the swivel at the thigh to do that. So if you want him to do the splits, you can kind of get him to do the splits just like that. So you're going to be able to get all of the range of movement you would out of, let's say, an SH Figuarts over here, right? You're just going to have to be creative in how you do that. So anyone saying he doesn't have that great range of movement, not exactly true. It's just that his joints function differently. So continuing on down, we do have a Revoltech joint in the knee, which is going to give us about that much range of movement. So we don't actually need a double hinge joint there. So that is pretty good. We do also have this little sculpt here, which is on a Revoltech joint. So that covers up that bulb if you want it to. Now we do also have a cut here here in the shin calf area, which is indeed on a Revoltech joint. It does ratchet a bit, but realistically speaking, that's not really a great range of movement. So it's basically just going to be a swivel, so this way we can angle the foot a bit better if we would like. Speaking of the foot, the ankle joint is also on a Revoltech joint, so this way we get a little bit of forward and back movement along with that ankle rocker, so we have better movement there. We do also have a toe hinge, though do be careful. One of them, I believe it was this one, was stuck with some paint, so just be careful moving that around. So overall, Carnage's articulation is fantastic, and it is very fitting for the character, which can create many, many limbs for himself. So you want to put this guy in a whole bunch of creative, wacky, chaotic poses. Guess what? You're going to be able to do that with relative ease once you work out the joints. To complement the wonderful range of movement that Carnage has, he comes with a wide array of accessories, and there's a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. He comes with 2 extra sets of eyes, so this way you can have him in a different expression. He comes with a set of splayed hands, a set of super splayed hands, and a set of fists. He's also going to come with a support stand, so this way if you would like, you can use a claw to support him or a hole in the back. He also comes with an extender for that support stand. Comes with 2 tools, so this way you can help swap out the eye parts and remove the different option parts. And now that we're here, he comes with an array of symbiote effect parts. Yes, symbiote parts. Yes, clearly, as stated in the instructions, symbiote. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. I am saying exactly what they are saying to me. Symbiote parts. Don't be that guy. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look what he comes with. So taking a quick look at the different eye parts, he is going to come with the default eye parts, and he's also going to come with some enraged eye parts and also some people's eyebrow eye parts. Yeah, I don't really know there exactly what this is going to be, kind of a surprised one. But let's take a look at how you go ahead and swap these out, and it can be a little bit of a pain. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to remove Carnage's head. Then with one of the tools that you're going to get, you're going to have to go in very, 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 very close and carefully, and you're going to have to push and pop one of the eye plates off. Go ahead and use your fingernail and help pop that off, and then you're just going to have to pop the new ones on. And don't worry if you go ahead and get them mixed up, because to be honest with you, they kind of do look similar when you just have one separate from all the others. They do have markings on the inside of them where they get pushed into Carnage's head, so this way you can tell them apart. Now the hands. Like I said before, he comes with a set of super splayed out hands, so this way he can go crouching or climbing or whatever you would want him to do. He comes with a set of not so splayed hands that he has kind of hooks on, and he comes with a set of fists. The set of fists and the set of super splayed out hands also have holes in them, or what I'm going to call them hardpoint attachments moving forward, so this way you can equip the different symbiote parts to him if you'd like to use them that way. Now I can go on and on forever for the different parts that Carnage comes with, and I can actually probably make a whole dedicated review just to this section in and of itself. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do instead is encourage you to sit through all the way to the extended action figure photography gallery so you can see a lot of these parts in use, and I'm going to show you the detailing on each one of them individually right now. So what all does he come with? Well, first and foremost, he's going to come with 3 different fixed-sized tendrils. Are you happy now? Okay. Comes with a small size, a medium size, and a large size. Carnage is also going to come with 2 scythe sort of parts, which look very cool. He's going to come with 2 different blades that look nice as well. 2 different axe parts, which are cool. He's going to come with 2 spikes. He's also going to come with 2 other tendril parts that are kind of like spikes. I don't really know here. And he's also going to come with 2 other tendril parts that are going to be sort of extenders. One is going to be straightforward like a tube, and the other one is going to kind of sort of be like an axe base. So this way you can equip up to 4 different parts to this one tendril base here. And as you can see here, your mind can go in whatever direction you would like. So this way you can create a scissors of doom, if you would like, to cut up whatever character you could even think about. So like I said, there are so many different option parts here, and you can plug them into pretty much anywhere on Carnage because he has hardpoint attachments all over him, or holes where you can plug in the different symbiote parts pretty much anywhere. He's going to have them on his chest. He's going to have them on the back of his thighs. And he's obviously going to have them on his back, his elbows. He's going to have them on his heels, everywhere. If you can think of a spot where you can put something on Carnage, chances are he's going to be able to have it. So this way he can look like a freak unleashing hell upon his enemy. And if you even want to swap out one of his hands for one of these weapon parts, guess what? You can do that as well. And I do definitely take advantage of that in the photo gallery coming up. So seriously, stay tuned for that. Now, one of the critiques about this is that some of the parts, like these fixed size tendrils, are going to have fixed bases. So if you're going to put them in, be careful that you're not unfortunately going to slip and maybe break one of them. But one of the other parts, they're going to have a Revoltech jointed base, as you can see. The only issue here is that, and well, those joints may break if you unfortunately have a slip of the hand. Now, you do get 2 extra shoulder joint parts to go with Carnage here, or an extra neck joint, but you don't get any extra joints for the different symbiote parts, which is upsetting. But yeah, anyway, there are a whole bunch of different hardpoint attachments where you can plug these parts in pretty much anywhere in Carnage. You can make your own abomination effect part and weapon for Carnage if you want. You can basically do whatever you want here. This is an awesome build a figure effect, accessory, whatever you want to call it, feature that is brought in with Carnage, and it is awesome. The only downside is there is no hardpoint attachment on the bottom of his feet. Yep, that's it. That's the only complaint that I have. So yes, they did really good job here of bringing Carnage to Carnage. So yeah, the only thing I could say is maybe some effect parts to go with Carnage. Maybe something like a flame or an explosion or something. And you know, I have a video for that. So now we're going to go ahead and round out the review with a size comparison with some other figures you just might have. So if you're maybe looking to throw them against Goku or maybe a Godzilla, maybe a Gundam, maybe a Jaeger, I don't know, whatever you want to do, it's your collection. Here is a size comparison for you so you can see exactly how big Carnage is. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Well, as you see here, Carnage is definitely a value, whether it's going to be in how it looks, how it moves, or even if you want to get crazy with a weapon system and have him shooting off an axe from his foot alongside a super awesome broadsword from his right hand with the, I don't know, a tendril from his left. Whatever you want to do here with your display for Carnage, you're going to be able to do it. Quite frankly, I don't know of any other Carnage figure out there that is going to be better than this one. The only thing that this is missing, a head for Cletus Cassidy. Yep, that's it. That's the only thing I can really think of. Yeah. This amazing Yamaguchi figure is completely knocked out of the park, and quite frankly, it is leagues above in its own tier, and there is not going to be another Carnage figure like this one coming down the pipeline anytime soon, and that is exactly why I bought it. Some minor quality control issues aside, with mine with tight joints and a random splotch of white paint, I would have to say this purchase was justified. And considering it was just recently reissued at the time of this upload, congrats, you now have a reasonable time window to buy this figure. Now we've reached the end of this deluxe review, which that means it's a photo gallery time. So normally I'd have the credits roll and we'd end it here, but now we're going to go ahead and have that gallery roll and then the credits. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much to all my patrons who have helped out, and I will catch ya in the next video. Let's get that gallery going.